This episode is brought to you by Buzzed Katie. Hello, world. Nice to meet me.
This episode is also brought to you by BC Tree Fruits Cider Company, responsible for Buzzed Katie.
Woo!
You're welcome, world.
This is real garbage.
What's up?
Hi.
Hi!
How you doing?
Pretty good.
How's the black cherry Okanagan cider?
Pretty good.
If you haven't noticed, Katie's buzzed. I'm on cider number 2,
Me too.
joint number 3,
Not me.
because it's legal up here in Canada. We smoke whenever we want. But yeah, oh God, I had to go to the dentist this week.
Ooh.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Like, do you go regularly, or are you one of those regular dentist goers?
I never went to the dentist regularly until I moved here, and then I got all my fillings done. I got my wisdom teeth out, and then I got my braces a couple years later, and then I was going to like my dentist every 3 months to get them clean, so I didn't get cavities with my braces.
I haven't. Braces too.
I haven't seen the dentist since I got my braces off, but I mean,
How long has that been?
you be the judge. It was a year in March.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I went 7 years.
Hey, before I moved here, I went 6 years ago.
Well, my longest stretch was 7. But this time I went 5.
What?
But I went because I'm missing a big chunk of a filling over on the left side, bottom.
Oh.
And same thing, I bit into we were eating Lay's ketchup chips because you can't eat just one.
No,
At
you
Christmas
have to eat
time,
1,000.
you have to eat every chip in the bag. And I hope you have a backup bag because your tongue will fucking burn.
Yeah.
And the only cure is more ketchup chips.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
For those American viewers.
You don't get those ketchup chips.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so good. Get Lay's. There's something about a Lay's.
Yeah, the Old Dutch cannot even compete with Lay's.
Fuck Old Dutch.
Fuck them.
Old Dutch, go fuck yourself.
Just kidding.
No, but I was eating chips, and all of a sudden I'm like, that's a fucking chunky part of a chip. And I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, shit. Missing a big chunk out of my tooth over here.
Ow.
But x-rays show my teeth are healthy, which means I'm taking care of myself. I'm eating properly, drinking lots of water, and there's no decay. She put a marathon session in cleaning, though. She's like, halfway through, she goes, so 6 months, right? I'm like, yes. She's like, not 5 years? I'm like, no. She's like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, well, it's been 5 fucking years. What do you
Not
expect?
to mention, this isn't covered by our fucking health plans, lady.
Well, yeah, I don't have benefits either, so I had to pay out of pocket, which
Yeah.
sucks. But I didn't. It was less than I thought it was going to be. It was $380 to get all the X-rays done, and a cleaning and scaling and polishing and fluoride. They get $10 for a shot of fluoride.
I know. You know what I do? I go and buy President toothpaste in Shoppers. It's like 5,000 parts per million fluoride. Love it.
Well, I grew up in Manitoba. I'm pretty sure it was
same
fluoride
with
in our
Alberta.
water.
We
And
had fluoride in
we
our
had
water.
fluoride rinse days once a week in school. It was like, all right, watch the clock, everybody. At
I
9
love
a.m.,
that.
do a shot, rinse it for a minute, spit it in the cup, and then, it was crazy.
I like that.
I still got really strong teeth. I
don't
had
know.
braces too. I had braces for 4 years, retainers for 4 years.
Jesus.
I pop them in every day.
I still wear my retainers at night, every night when I go to sleep.
My teeth
Just in
move
case.
a little bit. My sister always says, she's a dental hygienist, and she's like, your teeth are crowded. I'm like, they haven't moved
like, "Shut
in
the fuck up."
years. I haven't worn a retainer in like 13 years. So I'm like, or longer. I'm like, no, I don't need
They're
it.
fine. Yeah.
They still look okay.
I
But like,
started-
I'm thinking like Invisalign. I'm like, Invisalign would be good. You know what?
Yeah.
It costs like $600 a tray.
Oh, you might
My
as well
sister's
get
like, you might
fucking
need
braces.
you might need 7 trays. I'm like, 7?
Fuck that.
7
That's
trays?
more expensive than braces. When I got my braces, they were like $7,000.
Yeah. I remember my parents, God bless my parents. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for spending $8,000 on my teeth.
Yeah, thank you, Grandma.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
My brother had the exact same teeth, too, so he needed braces for the same reason.
double
I'm
whammy.
like, God, thank you guys.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm going to go on my fucking spiel here.
Do it. Do it.
Do it now!
Come on.
That was really good. Whoa.
I do that. All right, Arnie.
Whoa.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Holy shit.
I need more cider. All right.
I think eye doctors and I was going to say teeth
Ophthalmologists?
Yeah.
and optometrist, both.
Yeah, both.
Ophthalmologist. It was right. You were right.
Cool. But yeah, I think ophthalmologists and dentists should be covered under our healthcare. I can understand not having orthodontics covered.
Yeah.
Because
it's cosmetic.
Yes, but
mostly
it's cosmetic. But, you know, if you have decay in your mouth's right there, your brain's here, it can like go up if you have like an infection. And your eyes, like, I didn't ask for this.
Well,
I didn't choose his life.
You would think that optometry and ophthalmologist visits would be included because you'd want your citizens to see properly when they're out driving their cars.
I can't see on my
because
car.
I don't think anyone in this neighborhood can see right.
Can't see shit.
I have seen so many people almost kill people in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
That four-way stop at East Saanich and Mount Newton Crossroad, the worst intersection I've ever seen. And I grew up in Manitoba.
Yeah.
And I lived in Calgary for a while. You know, Calgary runs like a well-oiled machine. People are like, fuck it, just get in your car and go. And they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Here, everyone's like, oh, no, you go, even though I go
fast.
Yeah, like.
I've been stopped for a minute. Just go. People behind her are going, fuck, lady.
Yeah.
I just sit in my car and yell,
oh my God. So this week I experienced something, and we talked about tailgating a while ago. So I'm on the highway doing the speed limit. And if the speed limit were 110. I was following the flow of traffic, all right? Don't at me. And I'm in the fast lane, and out of nowhere, this guy fucking starts tailgating me so hard, I cannot see his headlights in my rearview mirror. He was
close.
up my bum. And then we're at the intersection at Sayward, and we're stopped at the red light, and I'm staring at him in my rear view, and I'm just like, you stupid motherfucker. And then he and I make eye contact, and he looks at me, and he's just like, and shakes his head at me. So I'm going to push the mic back because I'm going to reenact it how I was in my car. I'm staring at him in my rear view, and I'm just like, you're fucking tailgating me. I'm going 110. You need to back the fuck off, you stupid motherfucker. I'm in the fast lane. You can pass me. And I'm just like staring at him, and I'm like, you dumb fuck. And then he like stopped tailgating me. He stayed the fuck away from me. And then he started tailgating me a little while later, and I'm like, back the fuck up. And I'm like pointing at him in my mirror. And then he stayed away from me. And then when we get to Uptown, he like passes me by the left, flips me off. And I look at my watch and I'm like, I don't start work for another half an hour. I can follow you. Yeah. And I'm like, you want to fucking go, you little bald bitch? I was so mad.
You tailgated him, right?
I didn't tailgate him, but I followed him. And then he could tell I was following him. So he like zigzagged out of there. But one huge pet peeve I have when I'm driving is people who think that they're so important that they need to fucking go 120, 130 on the highway and put everyone else's lives in jeopardy because they're so goddamn selfish that they need to get to where they're going 5 minutes faster, even though I see you at every light, you dumb fuck. Like, it pisses me off. Like, where do you get off thinking that you're so goddamn important that you need to go 130 on the Pat Bay, you fucking loser? That's that.
I'll do like 120 myself.
I
don't drive like a dick though.
No,
I just try to drive away, get away from everyone.
Yeah,
and
don't
just
get me
sit
wrong.
with
Like,
my proper follow distance,
Yeah.
2-3 seconds.
Exactly.
And not get tailgated. And
No.
whenever people tailgate me when I'm speeding, I just slow down more.
Same.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Same. I'll, like,
I'm gonna
tap
go
my
the speed
brakes.
limit now, cocksucker.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you speed, I don't care how much you speed, whatever. It's the fact that, like, you're tailgating me when I'm already speeding. Like, you're so stupid.
But you know what though? Some people just don't fucking realize they're doing it. That girl I was dating last year.
Yeah.
Well, she was tailgating someone, and I'm looking at her while she's driving, and she's like, "What are you looking at me for?" I go, "Why are you riding this guy's ass?" She's literally 3 feet away from his bumper, like probably just as close as Buddy was to you. Like, probably couldn't see her headlights. And I've told her numerous times, I'm like, this shit drives me nuts. This is so dangerous.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, I didn't even notice." She didn't even notice. So that leads me to believe that a large majority of drivers out there don't even know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
They're oblivious to what they're doing. They're just like, I'm just driving, not thinking if he hits his brakes, I have 3 feet of space to stop.
Exactly.
No, it's just dumb. Tailgaters are my biggest pet peeve on the road.
Yeah.
And I tried these days. Like I literally screamed out the window sideways, not at the person, but I'm screaming, why the fuck are you on my fucking ass?
Yeah.
With my arm out the window, shaking a fist. And I've had people slow down, but I've also had people just ride my ass even more. I'm like, why?
I'm like,
now
okay.
Now you're just being a dick.
Right? And then you're like, I'm going to double tap my brakes. And then you're going to fucking total your car. And then.
I've been tempted to do it. I'm like, I'm sure if I write this thing off, it's going to cover it.
I've been so tempted.
Edit that part out.
Yeah.
Probably won't. This is a joke.
Yeah. No, there have been times where I've been so tempted to just tap on my brakes and see what happens because they need to fucking learn. Like.
But we can't do that because you don't want to kill stupid people because a lot of people would probably be mad, but a lot of people would be really grateful.
There was this thing that Brandon and my best friend Ellen read about, and it was like, would you rather be happy or correct? And both of them said happy, and I wasn't around for this, but they told me that as soon as they read that, they both in unison said Katie would rather be correct, and it's true. It is so true. I would rather be correct.
Well, you're 23?
24.
24? Wait, now you're 24.
Yeah.
You'll realize it eventually. Where there's moments where you just look at people and go, okay.
Well,
okay.
I think...
And then you just smile and you move on. You're just like, okay, yeah, that's right on. Awesome.
I remember...
you're like, I can't exert this much energy fucking talking with this person, arguing with this person, trying to prove my point. I've done it before. I've wasted...
Yeah.
I remember getting into a religious argument at like 18 years old. 18 working at a shoe store, and this guy's like, oh, God is real, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, like... I go, how can you believe a book that's like 2,000 years old that you don't even know if it was you? You don't know who actually wrote it. You don't know if it's just a fictional fucking story created over the years. Like it's about a magic person in the fucking sky. He's like, well, I believe it. This and that. I'm like, we just got into this. I was like, no, what's wrong with you? Right now, I just go, you believe whatever you want to believe.
Yeah.
Like you get to that point and they're like, well, you got to believe this. I'm like, I don't believe anything you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Like that's my key to happiness is if people want to get into those arguments, I just go, no. Why?
With like hypothetical opinionated arguments, I'm not like that. But when the facts are there, I will 100% argue the facts forever until I'm dead. I will be dying on my deathbed and someone will be telling me that the sky is like red and I will be blue in the face telling them that the sky is fucking blue.
But hold on. Everyone's eyes see things uniquely different. Like that red on that wall is red to me. It might not look as red to you as it does to me.
True.
It could be a totally different color for you. So I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Because someone could be like, the sky's red. And I'm like, fuck, I see a red sky too. Because we see, and that's the weirdest thing about humans is that we see everything differently.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just little minute details.
You should take the Myers-Briggs personality test. Because I did. And I am the debater. And I like reading this thing. I'm like, oh my God, yep. And it's basically like the debater is someone who will argue another side of a point, not necessarily because they believe it, but they're going to argue another side of the point just to try and make this person who's arguing see the other side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Like, I'll fucking argue anything. I don't care. Like,
I will if I know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, I'm obviously not going to argue about something I don't know shit about.
Like I'm very quick to, if I don't know, I'll just tell someone, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I when I was younger, I'd be like, well, yeah, totally. I kind of pretend. And I told somebody, like, they go, do you watch hockey? I go, no. And they start like, there was a conversation going on. I'm like, I'll admit it too. I don't watch hockey. I don't care. I don't care about the stats, any of that shit. And there's like a 10-person, group talking, and I'm not saying a word. My buddy, after 10 minutes later, is like, you didn't fucking say a word in that conversation. What's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, I had nothing to say. I've told you this before. I said I had nothing to say. And like, so I'll admit that right away. I'm not going to jump and be like, oh yeah, the fucking goals and assists and that other game there, fucking the forwards were doing a great job and the defensemen. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, they go offside. I'm like, why the fuck are they offside? What is going on? I don't understand it. People have tried to explain it to me. I'm like, I don't get it. And I don't know. I'm Canadian and I don't watch hockey. And
Blasphemy!
I never played it. I played
never
like
played
shitty. Like you put on your skates and fucking
Yeah.
your buddies that played hockey just fucking work you on the ice. It's
Yep.
disappointing. Like fucking stop getting my stick out of the way. I want the puck. Boom. Poosh. No, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Why are we talking about hockey?
Couldn't tell you.
Marijuana affects the memory. Anyway, we're continuing on with something we started last week.
Yeah.
Watching movies that we like.
I'm excited.
We're going to do at least 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Probably switch up some we hate after this. But we watched one of my favorite. This one's definitely in my top 5. It has.
Okay.
It is. This is my top 5. Reservoir Dogs.
Mm.
You had seen it. So did you rewatch it again for this?
Yeah.
So you watched it the first time maybe like 2 months ago?
Yeah. The first time I had ever seen it was 2 months ago. And then I decided.
What was your first impression?
My first impression was, what the fuck is going on? And not in a bad way. It was in a really fun, good way because Tarantino sets up the audience, in a diner and you're like, what the fuck? And then they get into this huge long introduction that's like 10 minutes long. And most of that is about how Mr. Pink doesn't tip. And then of course you're like, well, why the fuck is this person Mr. Pink? Why is this person Mr. Orange, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Blue, whatever? And you really have no idea what's going on with any of the characters and why they're there, why they're in tuxedos. And then that keeps you in that mindset the whole movie. Like there's just constantly like mystery and questioning and you don't know what's going on. And
You don't know who the rat is?
no, and it's kind of filmed in a way that like happens a lot now where it starts at the end and goes back to the beginning. But it's not so cut and dry like that. Like you start with the introduction of these characters and then all of a sudden you're in the backseat of a car with 2 of them and one's fucking shot and dying. And then they get to the warehouse and then there's, it goes back to the beginning, but the beginning is different for each of these individual characters. So you see different beginnings and then it all comes together in the climax and then that's it. Like that's literally it. After the climax, the movie ends. There's no downfall. There's no coasting. So you're left on this high of like, holy shit.
Yep. There's no hero, no anti-hero.
Yeah.
Everyone is just kind of out for their own good, except for Harvey Keitel's character.
Yeah,
Mr. White.
Mr. Pink.
Mr. Pink was
so like me, like so smart.
I wrote that down. I said that I would be Mr. Pink in this scenario.
Yeah, I would.
The
yeah,
level-headed, thinking with his fucking brain kind of guy.
Am I the only one acting fucking professional?
You're acting like a fucking amateur. I'm a fucking professional.
Yeah.
Oh, Buscemi.
Oh my gosh, my friend Ellen, she used to have this dog named Maggie, and I would always call Maggie Steve because after Steve Buscemi, because she had these wild, like wide set eyes and
Crazy teeth.
and crazy
Terrible
teeth. Yeah, and she was so cute. And anytime I would come over, I'd be like, "Hi, Steve."
He's played so many good roles in so many good movies.
Yeah.
Like I think of right now, I'm just coming into my head is his role in The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
I did not see that.
No,
No.
It's a pretty cool movie. I won't say anything. I won't ruin it.
Yeah.
That and Armageddon, of course.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in years.
That's a good movie. We could it's kind of cheesy. We could probably make fun of it.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't want to
Close my eyes. Don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, babe.
Pretty sure this is the second time we busted out into that song on the
Yeah.
podcast. Harry, I love you. Don't do this. Take care of my little girl. No, Harry. God damn it. Fucking this is a sad part of the movie. That was a really sad movie.
Yeah.
Fucking Armageddon. Fuck you, Ben Affleck. Just kidding. What were we talking about? Jesus. I'm kind of baked right now.
God.
Just getting sidetracked.
Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we've already announced what movie we're watching. And I think everybody knows what the story of Reservoir Dogs. I don't think we need to give you a synopsis.
No, I think
But
we're good.
Bunch of people plan a heist, and there's an undercover cop. Shit goes sideways, and everybody dies.
Yeah.
Basically it. Well, not everybody.
Yeah.
Mr. Pink lives.
Yeah, yeah, because
He gets
he's
away with the
smart.
diamonds. He gets away with the diamonds.
Yeah, he does.
So it starts off in the diner scene. The diner scene, they're talking about Like a Virgin by Madonna. And I love this conversation. And he's like, no, it's about a girl losing her virginity. And he's like, no, it's about this fucking fuck machine. The fuck machine who meets this guy with a big dick. And when they have sex, it's like, oh my gosh, never felt a pain like that. It's like the first time. I'm like, this is a hilarious description. And it makes sense.
I will
Madonna.
I will never hear that song the same again. Because Tarantino was just...
He knew what was up.
Yeah.
He's a fucking smart man.
He is.
But just that, then they get into the tipping scene. It's hilarious. Like, because I've known people. I've sat next to this dude, or he started a conversation on Facebook once. I won't say his name because we're not friends anymore. But he started this thing. He's like, to all future bartenders and servers that will be serving me, I will no longer be tipping you. Thank you in advance.
Oh,
and I'm sitting there thinking,
God.
the only people reading this are your Facebook friends and people that know you and your family and shit. So they're the only people that are going to see it. And the only servers and bartenders that are going to see it are servers and bartenders you're currently friends with.
Yeah.
And they're reading this now going, fuck you, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the industry is right now. If they could pay us more, or if they would pay us more, we wouldn't need tips.
Yeah.
If they paid a bartender $25 an hour, you wouldn't need to fucking tip them because that would be a fucking good wage. You could tip them if they were giving you exemplary service.
Yeah.
And he went on this because people just started tearing into him after that. And
yeah.
I didn't. I was like, I'm just not going to say anything because I'd bartended for a couple of years at this point. And, it's hard work. It's hard. It's a hard job sometimes. Not hard. It's just an exhausting job because you got to be on all the time. You can't be a grumpy asshole because I've seen shitty bartenders before and I'm like, wow, you shouldn't be working here.
Yeah.
You got to be on all the time for 8 hours straight. And you're like I was working at the Blarney Stone in Vancouver at the shooter bar. So you're just giving her for 8 hours. People just like, oh, give me this. And just fucking doing all kinds of shit. But at the end of the night, you're like, man, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
You're making good money. But I'm like,
It's a
if I
lot.
wasn't making tips, I was walking out of there with $90 for that.
Yeah.
But instead I was walking out with between $200 and $300 a night for hustling and fucking entertaining people and giving them a good experience.
Yeah.
And like, fuck yeah, give me tips. So he goes on this big thing, and people are just like, man, you haven't worked in the industry, you don't know how it is. And then finally I weigh in, and I'm like, dude, somebody calls you a fucking friend, you're being a real piece of shit right now. I said, you know how it is, but you know it's not going to change. We can't just stop it and it's going to change. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. And I said, if someone gives you a great experience, give them a fucking tip because they're making $11.50 an hour. Give them $5, you fucking cheap piece of shit.
Yeah,
that was my thought. Was like, you're just a cheap piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I said, don't fucking go out then.
Yeah.
Or I said, I can't wait till the next time we go for a beer. And I say, let the bartender know what you want to say first.
Yeah.
I want to hear you say, I won't be tipping you, sir, and see how that fucking goes. See how your experience is then. Like, you're working a minimum wage fucking job.
Yeah.
And you're working in the service industry. It's like, that's what you fucking count on is those tips.
And I remember last week, one of the servers, she had a table who racked up a $200 bill, didn't tip her anything.
And then she ends up paying for that.
Yeah, because lots of people don't realize that we tip out the bartenders a percentage, we tip out the
Kitchen.
support a percentage, we tip out the kitchen a percentage. So we're losing money because we now have to tip out like 5% on that 200 and split it between 3 people. Like, it sucks.
Yeah, people don't understand that. I had these American kids come up to the Blarney Stone once because they were 19. They could drink in BC. And they had a $140 bill, but they split it between 3 of them. And with the American cards, they don't prompt you to tip. You scan the card and it just goes processing. I'm like, whoa. And it's like, approved. I go, it doesn't give you the option to tip. And the guy goes, oh, weird. I'm like, okay, sweet. I pass it to his buddy. Same thing. I'm like, oh, dude, it's not giving you the tip prompt. And he goes, oh, that's weird. Same thing. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the girl pays with cash and leaves me $2 on 140. So I walk around the corner and I kind of just go, I normally don't really care. I'm just like, whatever. It's good. Like, karma is going to come around. You're going to get a decent tip from somebody. Yeah. And I'm looking at this going, this just cost me money to serve these people. And I was really, really nice to them. Really nice to them, gave them good experience, made them shooters, suggested shit for them. And so I came around the corner. I'm like, hey, guys, I just got a couple questions for you. how was the food and how were the drinks? Oh, drinks were amazing. How was the food? The food was good. Yeah, the food was great. How was the service? Like, was everything good? Yeah, you were fantastic. I go, okay. So I'm just going to explain something to you. I said, because the next bartender might not be so nice about this. I said, I actually had to pay to serve you guys tonight. And I explained to them why. Like, I had to tip out to this. And I'm thinking, oh, man, that's crazy. I said, so just moving forward, like 10% is pretty standard if you got a good server, good bartender. Just don't stiff somebody on a tip, man. It's not really cool. And they go, man, thanks for the advice. And they still leave. I'm like, fuck all three of you. But I was like, wow, okay, I hope that soaked in and I hope they went somewhere else and they tipped somebody. Wow. And if they didn't, I hope they got fucking reamed out for it because they just fucking learned. And I'm like, come on, man, just do it. But saving grace was later that night, this was a Monday night at Blarney Stone, and at 1:30, the whole port side staff comes in, like 9 or 10 people. Like, Abby's like, we need 8 of these and 8 of those and a couple of those, and this is, what do you want? Blah, 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 like a 30 drink list, and he goes, and just take your time, man. I'm like, sweet, thanks. I ended up walking with like $150 from them in tips. They're just like, here, take this. I'm like, sweet, thanks, guys. What a great night. So I never really got too bent out of shape about it. Yeah. But it still sucks when it happens, when you're like, really? Like, I got a $1 tip on a $65 bill from one of my fucking regulars because she got too drunk. I was like, yeah. She was like, it's this much. This lady next to her is like, well, how much you got in your hand? It's this much. Well, that's enough then. It was like $1.75. I was like, wow. You don't be like, hey, that's $1.75 tip. That's not a lot. That's I need to eat.
Yeah, that's what I said to the table that did that to the server. I went up to them and I was just like, cause she was so upset. So I went up to them and I was like, hey guys, I just had a question. Like, was the service okay today? Like, how was your experience? And they were like, no, it was great. And I was like, oh, like, how was the food? Oh, it was fine. And I was like, oh, like, so you had a good time? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, huh, okay. And I just walked away. I was like, what the fuck? Like, are you kidding? Like, get your shit together.
Okay, so that scene ends. Intro, they're walking outside, freeze frame, all the names pop up. Pretty sweet. And then, boom, back in the car, he's screaming. He's been shot.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm fucking dying, Larry.
I'm dying, Larry.
And then they get to the warehouse.
Yeah.
So, like, I tried to, like, keep track. I'm like, car, warehouse, robbery, warehouse, Joe's, warehouse. And then eventually I got the next page. I was like, shit, I lost track.
And that's I just wrote, like, the first 4 notes are mystery. I was like, right off the bat, you have genuine mystery. Who are these guys? What are they doing? Also, the soundtrack. Smiley face.
Yep. The casting.
Yeah.
So you got Buscemi, Tim Roth.
Ooh, I love Tim Roth.
Eddie Bunker. I wrote Eddie Bunker. I haven't seen him in much other stuff. I know that name. No. He's been in a lot of shit. Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
Harvey Keitel, Chris Penn, and of course Tarantino's in there. Always puts himself in his movies.
Yeah, but he always gives himself like really minor roles, and he usually like dies or something.
Yeah. And yeah, he dies in this. That's right.
And then I said, more mystery. An unknown woman shot Mr. Orange, and he's screaming he's going to die, holding Mr. White's hand. Orange has a wedding ring. More mystery. And then I said, Tim Roth is a great actor. I actually fully believe that he was shot.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was taken out of the experience that, oh, he's acting. Like, I genuinely
He's
was
been
like,
shot.
Yeah, I was like, did Tarantino be like, okay, dude, I'm gonna shoot you in the gut. I've mapped it out so that your organs won't be hit. Are you okay with this? Like,
tis a flesh wound.
Yeah, like the experience to me was very genuine, and it was consistently genuine, you know, like when they get in the warehouse and he's like going to shock and fading in and out of consciousness, mostly out of consciousness, like
he was dying through the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you just think about that from an acting standpoint. Playing, screaming, exhausted, dying, freaking out the whole movie.
Yeah, and this movie was like an hour and a half long.
Yeah, it was made in 92.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old when this came out. I think I saw it my first time when I was probably 20. It was a while after. I didn't see it as a kid. I was subjected to a lot of R-rated movies as a child. It was crazy. Like, I remember watching like R-rated movies when I was like 9, 10, horror movies, slash men, like all movies in the 80s and 90s had sex scenes.
Yeah.
So like I'm 10 years old. I'm like, what the fuck?
I
terrible.
remember when I saw
Now look at me.
Carrie for the first time. I was like, that's a lot of bush. Oh my God.
Oh, 80s Bush. We got
Yeah.
Bush.
It was wild.
Animal
I was
House.
like, holy shit. And then it terrified me to ever get my period because they bullied her.
Have I asked you if you've ever seen any Jean-Claude Van Damme movies?
You have, and I haven't.
You haven't. Oh man. Yeah. Almost every Van Damme movie back in the 90s had a sex scene in it. That was like in his contract. He's like, if I make this movie, you have to have one sex scene in it. It's fucking weird. I'm like, why?
Interesting.
Unnecessary too. I'm
Like gratuitous
okay.
sex scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just like a 90s thing. All right.
Yeah, that does sound familiar.
We go to blah, 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 blah.
So-
so then it's like the robbery where they're getting all the names. Where we
Yeah.
figure out who they are. And he's giving I love the Joe character. The Thing. Motherfucker looks like the thing. You're Mr. Blue. You're Mr. Blonde. You're Mr. Orange. You're Mr. Brown. You're Mr.
Mr.
White.
Pink.
And you're Mr. Pink.
Why do I gotta be Mr. Pink? Mr. Pink sounds a little too close to Mr. Pussy. Yeah, well, Mr. Brown sounds a little too close to Mr.
Mr.
Shit.
Too many guys fighting over who wants to be Mr. Black. Ain't
Well-
gonna work.
Can I be Mr. Purple then? I'll be Mr. Purple. No,
You're fucking Mr. Pink. Some other guy on some other fucking job is Mr. Purple.
it's my fucking way or the highway.
All right, Joe. Jesus, relax.
If it's not a big deal, I'll be Mr. Pink.
Oh, this movie. The writing, like Tarantino's writing is so good. Well, okay, hold on. How many Tarantino movies have you seen?
I have seen Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Django Unchained.
You haven't seen True Romance, one he wrote yet, right?
No.
You gotta see that one.
Okay.
True, yeah. He wrote it, he didn't direct it. But it's good. That's with Christian Slater and I think it's Rosanna Arquette. Patricia Arquette. It's one of the Arquette sisters.
Okay.
But not the... Wait, I was thinking of David Arquette. That's the brother. I was thinking, never mind. Who the hell is David Arquette married to? The chick from
Courtney
Friends.
Cox.
Yeah, that's what I don't know why I was thinking of Courtney Cox. Why don't you cry about it? Saddlebags! Okay, there's one shot. We don't even really have to follow the story of this. Fuck it, let's just ramble.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? The scenescape where Buscemi and Keitel, Mr. White and Mr. Orange walk into, or Mr. Pink and Mr. White walk into the bathroom and he's like, cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
And that shot's down the hallway.
I loved that.
It's so good until he's like, here, cigarette. And he lights the cigarette. That's when they cut to closer. And he doesn't even light his smoke. He just holds it up to the end of the cigarette and just closes the lighter and then he starts talking. Which I don't know if that was for continuity's sake because he just holds an unlit cigarette. You never have to worry about how far it's burnt down if you have to reshoot. And Buscemi takes a puff and just holds his where you can't see it.
Yeah.
And takes one more puff and puts it back, and you never know how much he smoked. So that could be like his move for covering that up. And Keitel's move might be just not lighting it at all. Mm-hmm. Or I was thinking like maybe he just hasn't smoked in a while. He doesn't want to smoke. So he's just like, I'm just going to pretend to smoke, and that's going to fix my craving or something.
Yeah.
I'm unsure. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, continuity, I think.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
I'm just getting too deep into this. It's a conspiracy. It's because of the aliens.
But yeah, so that whole bathroom scene, I said, like, I love the cinematography. I can't think of a movie that has shot a scene like the hallway scene and then the bathroom one.
Did you ever see Birdman?
No.
What? Oh. Okay. Nice. Birdman is essentially 6 long scenes on camera. Huh.
That's the Michael Keaton one, right?
Mm-hmm. It's really good. I can't remember all the details. Him directing a play, and I think he's starring in it too. Directing and starring in a play. He's the guy that played Birdman.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a spinoff on Batman. So
Okay.
they're sort of poking fun at himself, I think. But the way they shoot it is long choreographed scenes, like 10 to 15 minute long scenes. Some of them are fantastic.
Wow.
Like you start here in one part of the building and it's like a walk and talk, like Aaron Sorkin type thing where the camera's just following them. People come in and out of the scene, do their lines, wander off. It's crazy. Like you think like Edward Norton's in it. Michael Keaton. I can't remember who else. There's a
Emma
couple
Stone.
other, a couple other big names in it too. It's really good.
Okay.
You got to watch Birdman.
Okay.
You could put that on the podcast.
On the list.
For ones we like.
Um,
But this one, I loved him having to memorize the anecdote about the bathroom.
yeah.
It's a good montage. I just love the way that he cut that together because that made me think of acting school and doing like monologue recordings. Oh, and just doing I gotta do a play. All right, where are we in this?
Then we find out in the warehouse that Mr. Blonde went crazy and started killing everyone at the heist. Oh, yeah. And then we find out that Mr. Blonde, we don't know if he's alive. Mr. Blue, we don't know if he's alive at this point. Mr. Pink, Mr. Orange, Mr. White are all alive. We don't know about Mr. Brown, Joe, or Eddie. We don't know about anyone except for who we see on screen. Mm-hmm. And then they're debating taking Mr. Orange to the hospital. And they're like, no, dude, we can't. And then we find out, Mr. Orange is passed out at this point. And then Mr. Pink finds out that Mr. White had told Mr. Orange his name and where he was from. And Mr. Pink was like, what the fuck? We're not supposed to do that.
He was dying in my arms.
What the fuck do you expect me to do? And then, so we get a little backstory on each of the big guys. So Mr. White is a seasoned criminal. He goes back with Joe. Joe brings him in on the heist.
Oh, hang on. Do you ever see that Dane Cook? Do you know who Dane Cook is?
Yeah.
Okay, you ever see the Dane Cook bit about every man on this planet wanting to be in a heist?
I know.
It's every guy on this planet wants to be in a heist, and he's not wrong. I believe it because it would be so crazy to be part of a heist. A big bank heist like that. You're what? You're crowd control. You're going for the safe. You get security. They fucking giving you flack. You smash them in the face. And then where's the van? The van's supposed to be here. Shooting cops and shit. Not that I want to, but.
No.
But it'd just be insane. It'd be insane. Anyway,
True.
That's my 2 cents.
And then Mr. Pink just wants to get the fuck out and skedaddle.
He's the smart one.
Yeah. And then Mr. White told Mr. Orange his name. I said that, where he was from. And then Mr. Blonde arrives at the warehouse. And they're all like, what the fuck? And then they almost fight. And
You gonna bark all day, little doggy, or you gonna bite?
What'd you say to me?
What'd you say to me?
The only thing previous to this that I had seen Mr. Blonde, the actor, in was Species. Alien-esque
He's a cop,
movie.
isn't he, in that one? Or the
or
good guy?
detective or whatever.
Species. What was her name?
I don't know.
She was big when I was in my teens. Man, Species. That was the same as that. What was the other one with Nev Campbell and...
Scream?
No. The one where the two girls make out. It was kind of a big deal.
Oh,
it had
Cruel Intentions.
No, not that one. Does happen in that one though. Nev Campbell and God damn it, and there's a teacher. It's Johnny Drama's brother, the actor. Fuck, never mind. Somebody out there is it's this.
Yeah,
it's
this.
stupid idiot. I can't remember.
We'll find out.
It doesn't matter. What are we talking about?
Mr. Blonde, Vic Vega.
Oh yeah, you saw him in Species.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he
He was in Kill Bill, wasn't he?
I don't know. I didn't. That's one Tarantino.
You haven't seen
one.
Kill Bill?
No.
Oh,
I was verboten from seeing that when I was a kid.
Okay, you got to watch Kill Bill. Part 1 and Part 2. They're so good.
Dum ba-dum ba-dum ba.
Jesus. Such a sweet sound. He's in Kill Bill. I'm pretty sure he's in Kill Bill.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Mickey Rourke's. Wait. Mickey Rourke's in there too? No, it's Michael Madsen. He's in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kill Bill's in my top 3 of Tarantino movies. There's both parts combined. So good. That and what else did I write down?
Django.
Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah.
And
That's a given.
this. Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir.
Django is good though.
Yeah.
Django. Okay, so yeah, he shows up.
Yeah, and then he just got out of prison. And then I said I recognize the radio guy's voice. I didn't do any more digging into that.
Damn it. He's a comedian. Stephen Wright?
I think so.
Welcome to K Daily Sound of the 60s.
Wow.
Up next is this, and then we're going to talk about another movie on a podcast that we like to do here called Real Garbage.
That's pretty good. Wow.
I'm pretty sure it's Stephen Wright.
We should have a compilation of like all of the parodies and like voices that we can do.
Oh, I'll start keeping track of it. Fuck, we probably have a whole podcast length of us just going doing ridiculous stuff.
Like my Bill voice.
I don't know, Bill.
I don't know, Bill. You're hanging out with Bridget a lot lately. I don't think we're friends anymore. You're in my book. I'll put you through the fucking wall.
I'm going to come back here. I'm going to put you through that fucking wall. How about Joe Swanson? Come over here and help me with this.
Oh.
Peter. Oh, Peter.
Peter. No, I'm not saying Peter. I'm saying Peter.
Okay, how do you pronounce gyro? Gyro. Gyro?
The food?
Gyro.
Euro.
Euro, yeah.
Yeah.
I had it at the yacht the other day. And I'm like, can I get a euro, please? She goes, you mean a gyro? I'm like, no.
That's no.
Yeah, I've heard gyro,
Yep.
gyro, and euro.
It's euro.
It's euro.
And I know that for a
It was
fact
delicious.
because I worked at Maria Souvlaki for a summer, and they had this like cartoon it was like, how would you like to pay for that, sir? And he said in euros, and he had a bunch of the donaires, and that you pronounce it euro. It's not gyro. It's not guro. It's not gyro. It's euro, like the money.
Euro. Like euro. Down the boat.
Like you're wrong.
Euro. But it was delicious. And the chicken mulligatawny.
Ooh, mulligatawny. Mulligatawny soup.
I got your soup Nazi. Cream of mushroom.
No soup for you.
Mulligatawny. You're done, soup Nazi. Next. I'm going to make chicken mulligatawny, though, in the slow cooker. Well, actually, it's not a slow cooking recipe. You can make it in like a couple hours. But I wrote down the list of ingredients that I need today. I'm going to make it tomorrow. I guess I got to go to the dentist to get fillings tomorrow.
Have fun.
2 fillings. I'm stoked, though, because I can fill those gigantic gaps from chewing those ketchup chips.
Yeah. Those
gonna be
ketchup
nice.
chips are dangerous. Apparently.
But you can't eat just one.
Oh,
So they decide to go get the diamonds and leave Mr. Blonde there, which is careless. But like Buscemi's like, he's on the level. He's fine.
Yeah.
Should have believed Mr. White.
And then I made a note. Like, I wonder if the actors had known who the rat was going in, because it did not seem like it.
Oh.
Like, I wonder if Tarantino had kept that a secret, because the way they were acting, like...
Yeah, that's a good question.
It genuinely seemed like nobody knew who it was. And it seems like a Tarantino thing to do.
Except for Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Because he would have to. Because he has to admit it later.
Spoiler alert!
It's from 1992, people. If you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs yet, you're dead to me.
I didn't.
You don't matter. Just kidding. That's mean. That's cold. I'm not that cold.
You're a cold as ice.
Ding, ding, ding,
Da-da-da, sacrifice of love. I don't know any more words.
Yes, they leave him here, and this is the iconic.
Oh.
The iconic, one of the most iconic
Stuck
scenes
in the
in
middle
film
with
history.
you.
The slicing his ear off scene.
This will fall off my chest.
And I'm wondering how I get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Hey, here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Well, you started out.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me? What time?
I don't care. Is it 8:30? 9:30?
Shoot her!
I love the delayed laugh sometimes on that joke. Some people laugh right away, and then you get other people going, I get it. Oh, laughter. I gotta write a joke about how I saw this one Bumble profile the other day. It says, really, really big fan of laughing. I'm like, okay. I'd be hard-pressed to find someone who hates laughing.
I hate laughter.
Yeah, like someone's just like, I don't want to laugh. Don't
It
make me
makes me hurt inside.
Who laughs these days?
Not me.
But
the rest of this podcast, I'm going to go without laughing. You watch
can't do
me.
that. Don't.
Shut the fuck.
Ryan Gosling. No
Oh, yeah.
blinking. God damn, my eyes are too dry. I can't do it.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm blinking every 3 seconds. Every word has a blink, and I'm going to blink the whole show. It's hard when you're this is dehydrated. I'm drinking cider. This episode's brought to you by Okanagan Apple Ciders, Black Cherry.
baby.
I always find it kind of funny when they're like, we're apple ciders, and they're like, this is black cherry.
Yeah.
This is
Okanagan apple cider, black cherry.
pumpkin spice cider.
Ooh, I wonder if that's a thing.
They say that more guys drink pumpkin spice stuff than women.
I believe that. When I was with my ex-boyfriend, PSL season, he was so stoked about it. He's like, PSL
season?
Yeah, his words, not mine.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Jesus
I
Christ.
dated a peach.
I don't think I've ever
I'm
even
better
had
now.
a pumpkin spice latte. I might have had one and been like,
Really sweet. It's
yeah.
really sweet.
Well, it was like when people were drinking that rainbow.
Oh, that
turd
unicorn
Starbucks one.
drink- that rainbow
unicorn,
turd.
unicorn shit. 900 grams of sugar. Here, eat this sugar cube. Like,
Eat this rainbow turd.
So it's like the equivalent of just licking a salt lick. Just getting your daily dose of salt. Daily dose of salt.
Daily dust.
Daily dose of salt. Your salt. So he chops Buddy's ear off, and then I love the shot where he's like goes to get the gas from his car. They follow him all the way outside.
Yeah, and I love how
car.
the music faded and came back in too.
It was so like the editing on this is phenomenal.
And this was like tasteful gore. Like it wasn't.
It was hard to look at his head.
Yeah, and they didn't show the act of cutting off his ear because you know what's happening. But it just shows after, like him with his ear in his hand, and that was enough. And I was like,
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, is this thing on?
And then proceeds to douse him in gasoline. Ugh. I'm glad he didn't light him on fire.
Yeah, and then that's when we find out that Orange is the undercover cop because he comes to right as he's about to light the cop he is hostage on fire and shoots Mr. Blonde like 6 times, just empties a full round or clip or what is that?
Or a magazine.
A magazine.
Clips are what civilians put in their hair. This is called a magazine.
Oh, God.
That's a quote from Apex Legends. You wouldn't get it.
No.
But there's some nerd out there who's like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. That's Bangalore. Woo!
I can't play Apex Legends. I have an Xbox and a Mac.
Is it only on PS4?
I don't know. Maybe?
I thought it was on Xbox.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is. It's cool. I want to get Days Gone, but I'm going to wait till it drops in price.
I'm going
Not
to
paying.
stick to my World of Warcraft.
Wow.
And my League of Legends.
I've never played League of Legends. I got sucked into Warcraft when it would have been 2006 or 2007 in Medicine Hat. My buddy had my roommate had, because I was living with like 4 other people in a house. We worked different shifts at the TV station, or some of us worked the same shifts. And I get, whenever I was the night shooter, like you shoot anything that happens in the evening, and then you go and do studio camera for the 11 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Or 10 o'clock news, whatever the fuck what time it was. So we worked the same shift. But if I was on call in the work vehicle, I could just go home like, dude, give me your login info for Warcraft. I was like, sure. And I just sit there like with the phone next to me, like just in case somebody phoned about a story. And I played hours of Warcraft.
Nice.
I had a level 48 undead.
Ooh, undead.
Not priest.
Paladin?
No, not paladin. Undead. No, it was
Rogue?
priest. No, not rogue. And then I had a human warrior, like a level 42. And at one point, I remember playing it. And I'm like, brah, brah, and I just look over and I see. I look outside the window and it's like there's sun shining and there's kids playing and laughing and people driving by on motorcycles. I'm like, what am I doing with my life right now? And I exited it out and I never played again. I never played again. I was like, no, fuck, what am I doing? I could be out wandering around. I could be hiking. I could be doing something productive. I'm like, I'm just sitting here playing a video game. Like, I can't do it. I do that now. Like there's times where I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and play. I started playing Conan Exiles.
Ooh.
And it's all, you have to just figure shit out. You got to learn how to do stuff, harvest rocks and sticks and plants and eat bugs and shit, and then make weapons and learn how to. It's crazy. And then you have to build your own house and put a box in there and put your shit in the box and then fucking build more stuff. And like you can build fortresses and you can play player versus player online. So you can fight against other people and they can rob you and steal your shit. I'm like, I don't want to. It's just, my buddy's like, you got to play.
Nasty.
I'm like, this just seems like too much work. I played for an hour one night. I'm like, I could see me just getting sucked into this.
Yeah.
I want to not do that. I want to be productive. Can't be productive playing Conan.
No.
Didn't realize how much weight I had on that thing. It's a cool game though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
They come back, see Orange dead, Blonde dead, and no, Orange isn't dead yet.
no.
Blonde's dead. Cop. They shoot the cop. He's like, "Oh, this cop," because nice guy Eddie shows
Oh
up.
yeah.
And he's like,
He's
"What,
like-
this cop right here? Huh? You think I'm the fucking rat?" In that Chris Penn voice.
Yeah.
No one's a fucking rat. I don't know why he just jumps to that conclusion. Like, you think it's me? I'm like, well,
I
I
know.
don't think he does.
No.
Maybe. But Buscemi's like, for all I know, you're the fucking rat.
And then we like Mr. White is such a nice guy. Like,
Too nice.
yeah.
Too nice gonna get himself killed or get himself arrested.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't help it. I'm all like, yeah.
Somebody posted a picture. It was a Fran Drescher and it said, if you can't hear this
Oh,
picture,
you're too
I'm
young.
like, I can hear her right now.
Yeah.
Fuck the nanny. I watch that show all the time. It was a great show.
Yeah, I can't. This isn't for fun. I'm not vocal frying for fun. I can't be.
There's a comedian I saw the other day. She did a really good impression with vocal fry. It's like, oh my God, just listen to me. Like, seriously. Like, oh, shit. Wow. The vocal fry.
Wow.
I can't. I hate doing it. I'm
Vocal
sure I
fry.
probably do it every once in a while. I can't do it on purpose, though. Oh my God.
Oh my
Oh, there it is.
God.
Okay. Oh my God. Did you see what happened last night?
Stop.
Okay, stop it. Stop your vocal fry. Then there's the Mexican standoff at the end, which is fantastic.
The tension, like Mr. White going out of his way to protect Mr. Orange, and he's like, he's not the fucking rat, he's the kid. And that, oh my
If you shoot that man, you die next. I repeat,
Yeah.
if you shoot that man, you die next. I love that. I'm just like, I repeat, I'll say it again one more time. So
and
you know.
then they all shoot each other. And then Mr. White goes up to Mr. Orange and he's like, I'm sorry, kid. Like, and Mr. Orange is like, I'm a cop.
I'm a cop, Larry.
I'm a cop. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Larry. I'm sorry, Larry.
And then fucking Larry finds out that he literally just shot, two of his like good friends because he was trusting this guy.
Yep.
And then the cops show up finally because they were staking it out, waiting for Joe to show up. And all you see is like you pan away from Mr. Orange's face and you just see Mr. White's and he's like sobbing.
Oh, and he's got his gun pointed at Orange's head, too.
And he's like, I'm sorry, Larry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Larry.
And then he just kills him. And then you hear gunshots and Mr.
Everybody
White
dies.
Yeah.
Well, they die. It's just, I love it. It's a tragedy. Like, it's like a classic, you got comedy versus tragedy. Yeah, tragedy.
Yeah.
It's just such a fucking good movie.
And then I was like, Orange, why would you tell White? Oh, yeah. And then Mr. Pink was hiding under the stairs and took the diamonds and ran after everyone shot
He
each
told
other.
him because that he wanted to, I think he wanted to get him. And he was like, fuck you, Larry. I don't think, he wasn't thinking of him as a friend at all. He was being professional. Because he's like, they don't fucking know. You fucking stone cold. You're this, you're that.
Yeah.
He's like, you got them. You got them by the balls. He's like, and like whenever he talked to his partner there, the black dude, he'd always be like, I'm gonna fucking nail this guy. Yada yada. Guy got his name, got this, blah 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 blah. So I think he just did it as like a last little fuck you, because like that would have been a hell of a day.
Yeah.
He knows he's dying. He's like, fuck, I'm a cop, man. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, he was apologizing though. I don't know.
Yeah. See, like, did he feel bad maybe because
I
he
think
realized White was nice?
I think he might have. Probably. Yeah, who knows? Maybe White shot himself. Who knows?
Yeah. Tarantino, tell us.
No. We don't need to know.
No, actually don't.
Keep it a secret. All right, then. Keep your secrets.
All right, keep your secrets.
Keep your secrets. Oh, Frodo. Usual spiel. Find us on everywhere.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, Podbean, TuneIn, CastBox, Apple,
Spotify.
iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. We're there.
Facebook,
We're going to keep doing this.
Instagram.
We're going to keep doing this until people tell us to stop. But
Yeah.
no one tells us to stop. Because
Yeah.
this is fun.
Right? And even if someone tells me to stop, I'm going to be like, I'm going to do
Make
it
me wanna
even
do more.
harder now.
Yeah. We're going to fucking podcast so fucking hard. Fuck you. All right, then. Let's call it there.
Bye.
Bye.
This is real garbage.